Coming up on the mayor's office.
One of the things about Shohei's swing that I absolutely love is if you go back and look at that home run, Chinch, he could take that ball middle in, and Judge and Yelich do it too. He could take that ball middle in and go to left center way back with it.
And I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life. Good life.
Boom! Coming in hot, Chinchy. What's going on this Wednesday?
We're on a roll, man. We're on a roll. 400 episodes last week. Got Judgy earlier that week. Last night we recorded with somebody that we are very excited about, and you will see that and hear that interview on Friday, Sean. Who is the dude?
Yes, former MVP, one of the best left-handed hitters in this game, Christian Yelich, joined us. And, man, was it a great conversation, incredible conversation. We're going to launch that on Friday. But, you know, I think one of my biggest takeaways, Chinchy, is just like when we got into our conversation with Hitton, I thought it was incredible, man. Like just some of the stuff he was talking about, some of the feels that he has. It's just a great conversation, baseball conversation. I love when he was talking too about routines and protocols and all that stuff. And, you know, I don't know. I think of myself because it's funny he was talking about that. And Breakthrough Pro, our week 7 was Sunday night, and we talked about protocol. We talked about AM PM bookends, how you bookend your day. You know, you can't control the middle of your day. It gets crazy, but you can control your mornings and you can control your nights. And, you know, like in the morning, I get up, I make my bed, I do all the stuff that we talked about. I drink a glass of water, go take a walk. I get a quick workout in, 10-minute Peloton. Then I come in here and do the podcast. But I get I'm doing things to get my energy going to make sure that middle of the day, when things get crazy and I have no control over it, I've already controlled what I could control in the morning. And then at night, when I'm getting ready to go to bed, I make sure I get a good night's sleep because that directly affects my morning routine. Anyway, I love that for life, and I love that for baseball, because when I look back at baseball, my routines, my processes, my protocols, my strategy was so important of how I did it every day. And you look at guys like Christian Yelich and Judgy. Judgy talked about it too, and Matt McClain. These guys are talking about, learning from the veteran guys for what routines to put in place, what time should I do things. All that stuff matters. That was one of the big things I got away from Yelich yesterday, was that, figuring out routines and habits and tee work and protocols and stuff in the box. And what do you do when you struggle and all that stuff? I think that's imperative. And one other thing that my man Phil Stutz told me, well, obviously he's probably one of the best therapists in the world. He always says, we got to have emotional stamina. And emotional stamina is when things get tough, when the day gets tough, when life gets tough, right? You don't go in the corner and just, oh, I can't believe it's tough. You know it's going to be tough, right? And what you do is you double down on your protocol. But I guess the big point of that is, do you have a protocol? What is your protocol? People that are living at the elite levels, especially these athletes, but all of us can in our lives, what's your protocol to get your energy right? What's your protocol to get your mind right? What's your protocol to, what story are you telling yourself? All that different stuff. Where's gratitude in your brain? Can you find gratitude even when the tough stuff comes? So that's some of the stuff that that I'm doing right now in Breakthrough Pro, but also what Yelich said and Judgy about routines and protocols. And guess what, man? Baseball is synopsis for life. They're the exact same thing. Life's hard and baseball's hard. So I love when I hear guys saying, I got to be resilient. I got to work the toughness muscle. I got to make sure I believe in myself. I got to know the self-talk's got to be at an elite level. I just think that matches life, and it's just a great lesson for all of us when you hear these elite performers talk like that.
Nice. Well said. All that. It's funny you mentioned that he kind of reminded you of himself mentally. For me, you and I spent so many years together in tape rooms, like breaking down stuff for him. This dude is a student of the game, and he is a what's the word? Like a practitioner of things that he has learned from guys like Barry Bonds. Don Mattingly was his manager, and playing
Ichiro
and all that. And dude, when he's done playing, which hopefully he's not done for another 10 years, he can walk right into any MLB network or ESPN or anything and be a sick analyst. This dude
sick.
was so impressive. Anyway, speaking of impressive, of course, Shohei Ohtani shows up yesterday. Boom, homer, oppo. Funniest thing, by the way, is the dude, he's got struck out in his first at bat by a dude, I'm forgetting his name, but who hadn't been on a big league mound in a couple of years and fought his way back. And this dude got into spring training. Shohei Ohtani jumped into uniform, boom, looking paint on a corner. But let's get back to Ohtani.
Wow.
Dude, we were talking before, and we're gonna actually debut a little something here, a little mental craziness of Uncle Chinchy here with my my creative ideas. But we got a little new demo cam we're gonna explain here today. So I was talking to Sean earlier, and I was like, dude, why is he so different? Like, he took that ball yesterday, and it almost looked like he missed it. It almost looked like it kind of like got in his hands, and then it's a home run, like, I don't know, 9 rows back. So what is it that is so unique about his swing, other than the fact that he looks like I think he's the most jacked dude in MLB. But so what is it about his swing that a career 302 hitter can see and go, that's special?
Well, I think a couple things here, and I think a lot of it goes back to the Yelich conversation and the Judge conversation. Judgy and Yelich, talk about rhythm and timing, about getting ready early, and the most important thing is your timing. If you're not on time, you can't see the ball. If you can't see the ball, you're not going to hit this level, especially this level. One of the things about Shohei's swing that I absolutely love is if you go back and look at that home run, Chinch, he could take that ball middle in, and Judge and Yelich do it too. He could take that ball middle in and go to left center way back with it, right? Because he does such a good job of his setup. His setup is so good. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. But if you go back and look at that pitch, bro, that ball's middle in. It's not like, most people aren't driving that ball 20 rows deep to left center. That is a tough thing to do. And that tells me what he does so well is he is on time. He doesn't do much with his lower half. He's spread out. I'm going to show you what he does. He's spread out. Can you see?
Yeah, this is good.
So he's spread out in a big stance. When he first got to MLB, he was more like a little bit of a leg kick guy, more movement down here. But what he did was just got his base under him, almost like you're guarding somebody in basketball, right? Get a nice wide base, you're guarding somebody in basketball, and now put a bat in your hands. Okay, now you got a bat in your hands. And what Shohei does, he doesn't really, doesn't make a step forward. What he does is he kind of coils his front leg back, front foot goes back, and if you watch his hips, there's this coiling motion that he goes back with, but his head is like right on. So there's not much movement here where he can get out with his eyes. His eyes are locked in right away. So he kind of pulls back here, gets an incredible stretch with his arms. His hands get real back here. He creates a big bow and arrow effect, bro. Huge bow and arrow effect.
Explain. I've heard your bow and arrow effect, but
yeah, bow and arrow effect. Like, think about a bow and arrow. When you go to pull that bow back, if you pulled it like this and shot it, you got not much behind that, right? That arrow's going to go out and go down. But if you can stretch it like this and then release it, wham! That's where you get that thing. So what Shohei does so well is it literally is a bow and arrow effect with that front leg and his hands. So he gets loaded, that front foot, he just kind of coils it back, turns his hips back towards and gets that motion where he's coiled. His hands are so far back that when he goes to launch, bro, it's that whip of his barrel. It creates so much bat speed and so much power behind it. And that's why he's able to take that pitch that's middle in and drive it to left center out of the ballpark, probably better than anyone in the game.
Nice. So almost kind of like when my brother used to like pull a what do you call those things? A rubber band at me and then let go of it.
Right.
Right at you.
Yeah, if he pulled it just this much, you wouldn't be scared. But when he's in your face and he goes like this, you're like, that's gonna hurt.
Nice.
That's how the baseball feels. When the baseball's coming in and Shohei goes like this, the baseball goes, this is about to hurt.
Nice, dude. I like it. I like the I like our new look here. We're gonna.
All right, see if you can cut that, bro.
I know this extended my day, but I appreciate it. I like it better that way. Great stuff, dude. I love it. Let's do more of that for sure. I see your
Love that.
heads on the bottom. Shout out to your boy down there. I can see him in the other angle.
Oh, my bobbleheads. Yeah. Yeah.
You're-
Travis Grubb, my man.
All right, one other really cool bit of news, man. Chris Sale, we talked about him a couple weeks ago. Hey, man, if he could be anything for this Braves team, first of all, to the Braves, arguably the best team in baseball for the past few years, he looked literally like vintage Chris Sale yesterday. 4Ks, just throwing darts, high 90s, man. If he is 80% Chris Sale, the National League is just in major trouble, don't you think?
Well, dude, and I think Chris has something to prove too. I really do. Like, I think he's like, I'm not done. I still got something left in the tank. He hit 97 the other day too, bro. So like, Chris Sale when he's hitting upper 90s fastballs, because that slider's a wipeout slider. So for me, man, good for the Braves for doing their homework. Because when he came back last year, his last 11 starts, I think he pitched pretty well, Chinch. I think he had under a 4 ERA. He had a couple dominant starts. He might have had a couple hiccups here and there.
Hmm.
But when Chris Sale's on, he's dominant. So the biggest thing with Sale is can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy is the question, man. That's the biggest thing. So
Yeah.
hopefully he can. Chris is a great guy, man. And I hope he does well there in Atlanta. And for, another thing too, in Atlanta, he doesn't have to be the guy. I mean, they have some really good arms there with Strider and who's a couple other big arms. Who's the other? Oh, Max Fried's coming back.
Yeah.
They got some big arms there. So he kind of slides into that rotation,
Mhm.
and doesn't have to be the guy. But
Yeah.
man, I tell you what, I like the trade because Vaughn Grissom, who went from the Braves to the Red Sox, I think he's going to be a stud in the big leagues. But Chris Sale, if Chris Sale is 80% of what he was as Cy Young Chris Sale,
Mhm.
you got a pretty good pitcher, man.
Yeah.
Front line.
I'll add just one visual to that too. Like, when Sale was banged up over the past 3 years, love it or hate it, if he's on your team, I bet you did. But like, Chris Sale had that ace swagger. I mean, ace swagger. Could strike you out and do a little, not a dance, but like he can stare you down, like that intimidation factor.
Yeah.
It seemed like when he was banged up over the last couple of years, you didn't see that kind of like that little extra oomph at the end.
A little confidence.
Look back at one of those strikeouts from yesterday from behind home plate. When he threw it before, it's like when Steph Curry takes a three and just turns
Right.
walking away. That ball got out of his hand the other day, and he just turned around and started. It was like a Steph Curry splash three.
It was like strike three. He gone.
I was like, oh boy, we're in trouble here if you're not a Braves fan, but if you're happy if you are. I have one last housekeeping bit of news because I screwed this up the other day, and I was watching a Mets game. There was this cool guy. I loved him. He's like my new favorite player because I kept telling Jess, I'm like, that's how I look like when I play baseball. That's what I would look like on a field because his name is Jet Williams for the Mets. And I'm talking like he's like just this kid that came out of nowhere. No, sorry, everybody. He was the minor league player of the year.
Player of the year.
For the Mets. I sent you a clip of Dan O'Dowd at the draft talk about how much he loved him. You saw the dude. He's 5'6", 175, which I would, again, on paper, I've been a short person. That probably means somewhere between 5'4" and 5'6" in cleats. And he probably is 175 pounds because he's jacked. He's only 20 years old, dude. 45 stolen bases, 13 bombs in 410 at-bats in the minors last year. They have a bunch of little dudes.
What position is he?
He's actually, I believe, a shortstop.
Shortstop.
But they have obviously they have a shortstop there for the next 6-7 years. And I was listening to Ronnie Darling talk about it. He goes, "Hey man, these guys can play. If you can play, they'll find a spot for you. You wind up a second baseman.
And if you're a shortstop, you can play every outfield position. You can play every infield position.
Yep,
so
exactly.
But dude, I love this kid, man. Scrappy. I love the guys that aren't oversized. They're undersized, and I always feel like they got something to prove.
Mhm.
And when I watch him play, man, it's like he's playing with his hair on fire. I gotta love that.
In that uniform, in that Mets uniform, he kind of reminded me a little of Lenny Dykstra. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he's got some thunder in there too, man.
pop.
Jet Williams got some pop,
Hey,
bat speed,
I Actually, I'll say this as the shorter person who everybody's like, wow, you're really good for your height. Screw you. This dude was the 14th overall.
Screw you.
Yeah, 14th overall pick. So
Right. Height
for him over the next
that whole thing. Yeah. You're good for your height and all that stuff. It's like,
I hate that, man. That bothers me. Or if it's like here, I'll give you one though that you probably got from little people like me that I don't appreciate this one either. If I was your height, I'd be in the NBA.
oh yeah.
If I was your size, I'd be running a 4.240.
Yeah, but you're not, guy.
Yeah. There's a reason God made us all the way we are, and we all love each other equal. All right, great show, dude. I can't wait to go get in the edit.
All right, yeah, edit. I can't wait to see you edit this, bro. Hey, probably paying you the big bucks all these years. Let's see if you can do something.
Nice. Did you mail out the bat yet? I got to keep reminding you that.
Dumont, it's coming. It's on its way.
I just remember there was the one time we did it where I sent it to you or something.
As a matter of fact, I just looked at it. I go, I gotta send that out. So
I saw your eyes look at something. That was the way.
it's coming. It's right there. It's coming. It's on its way. I'm visually. I put it in my view where I can't miss it. So I'm gonna.
Jess always used to tell me, just put your keys by the front door. Be fine. So you don't walk around a house losing your keys every day.
Listen to Jess, bro. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah. One last super quick thing. I told you my family got me an Apple Watch for my birthday, which I can't believe they did this. But so I lose my phone constantly, and there's a Find Your Phone app on it.
Right.
Every time, 5 days a week. I'm like, I'm not going to say it right now, but it's Hey SIRI.
Yeah.
Find my PHONE 5 times a day. Just here. And she's like, it's up here. And I go up, and I'm like,
you're like, don't ask Jess. Use the phone.
$1,000 Find My Phone app. That's all I have on my. That's all it is. I use it for that more than I look.
Oh God, so good, dude.
Anyway, all right,
So
brother. Couldn't get
All right,
it.
man.
We got one more tomorrow, and then Friday is Christian Yelich, which you will not want to miss.
Yes.
Whatsoever.
Friday is going to be awesome. That's a great one, man. Appreciate his time, too. All right, Chinch, have a great rest of the day. Everybody out there, thanks for listening. Keep downloading, subscribing, and tell your friends. Why wouldn't you tell your friends? All right, love you, brother. See ya.